everyone, I'm Steven, and I just got so frustrated today. We were watching this YouTuber who was claiming that basically non-binary identities are invalid and you have to have dysphoria to be trans. Well, you don't. You have to have dysphoria, alright? Loki is pangender without dysphoria, for fuck's sake. Well, they have dysphoria about their birth name, but still, you don't have to have fucking dysphoria to be trans. But Loki has been wanting to make this video for a while, but now I'm doing this because I just switched out and I got fucking pissed as well. So yeah, here is a video about the lesser known gender identities that exist. At least everyone seems to forget about them. I mean, like, what was it, a year ago or something? You know, when Trisha uploaded a video claiming to be trans, and she said she identifies with her birth gender 1,000% and with being man 1,000%, that's actually a gender that exists, but apparently people don't know about that, which actually really angered Loki, but alright. I mean, I'm not claiming that Trisha's trans. I'm just saying you should look at all the facts before you actually say shit about something, alright? But before I start a whole rant, because that's not my intention here, I'm just gonna get into it before I really start off ranting. Yeah. I was trying to stop Loki from getting this frustrated, but didn't fucking work because now I'm frustrated. But yeah, I have all the genders listed here on my iPad. Our iPad, I guess. So I'm just gonna start. First, I want to talk about agender. This is a little bit what Destiny is. Destiny is a goddess in our system, for the people that don't know, and she's genderless. She uses she, her pronouns because she finds those the prettiest. But yeah, she's fucking genderless, and people who identify with agender say they don't have a gender. I don't, like, people are valid with agender, but by giving it a label, I still think you're saying you have a gender, just agender. But that's my personal opinion. It's still fucking valid gender, alright? But it is this video is all over the place. I'm sorry. But agender is a term which can literally be translated as without gender. It can be seen as either a non-binary identity or a statement of not having a gender identity. People who identify as agender may describe themselves as one of more of the following: genderless or lacking gender, gender neutral. This may be meant in the sense of being neither man or woman yet still having a gender. Neutralized or neutrally gendered, having an unknown or unidentifiable gender, not aligning with binary or non-binary gender, having no other words that fit their gender identity, not knowing or not caring about gender as an internal identity and just or as an external label, deciding not to label their gender, or identifying more as a person than any gender at all. Now, I don't have experience with this gender, but yeah, that is what agender is, and it's fucking valid. Then next we have the branch multigender, and here are more genders under this branch. first is B-gender, which is having two genders at once. This can be male and female at once, or non-binary male, or demi-boy male, I guess. Like, any combination of two genders makes you B-gender. So yeah. Then next there is trigender, which is like B-gender, except for the fact that you have three genders instead of two. Same goes for quadgender, which is having four genders, quintgender, which is having five genders, polygender, which means having many genders, and then you have pangender, which is what Loki is, and that means you are all genders at once or over a period of time. And this includes genders that are not defined yet. So, legit anything. You're all everything at once. You're agender, you're B-gender, you're trigender, you're male, you're female, you're non-binary, you're just everything at once. You have no gender, but you also have a gender. Right. It's just everything at once. One big pile of gender, I guess. Which is also why Loki doesn't have dysphoria, right? Because they are a woman in a woman's body, but they're not just a woman. They're everything at once. And that's also part of the reason why we all think, well, I think we all think that maybe someone doesn't have an opinion about it. But this is also why I at least agree with the fact that you don't need dysphoria to be fucking trans. It's something you are in your brain. You know that you are. I mean, they really took a long time looking at all the possible genders that exist to see what it was. They first identified as B-gender with the fact that they were both male and female at the same time, but now they've realized that it's pangender, and they just love to say that their gender is non-existent. But some people say they can't say that because they have a gender which is pangender, but they can fucking say that they don't have a gender, alright? Because part of being pangender is being agender. Alright. Then also in this bracket of multigender, before I go on another rant again, there is gender fluid, which means that your gender switches over a specific period of time. An example of this is Loki in the Marvel comics, because he switches from being male and female over periods of time. I don't know much about this gender. I know there are like different variations of it, like with a lot of these genders. Like the only ones that don't really have variant are like the genders that only persist of one gender. I know, but yeah. Oh, here we have gender fluid. More explained. Sorry, I did take these screenshots, but short-term memory is fucked up with all of us. Gender fluid is a gender identity with which refers to a gender which varies over time. A gender fluid person identity will change constantly, so it's always best to ask what they are in the moment. For instance, you wake up a girl, then you suddenly feel like a boy, except it changes between all the gender identities. I thought it was just some gender identities. I didn't think it was all of them. This may change dramatically and rapidly depends on the person. Common way of gender change is in response to different circumstances. Gender fluid people may also identify as multigender, non-binary, and or transgender. Gender fluid people may feel more comfortable using gender-neutral pronouns and have an androgynous gender expression. Huh, interesting. I thought it could also be like two genders that you change between. Well, not change, but get what I mean. I mean, for some gender fluid people, that's probably the case. I mean, if you experience that your gender changes over time, then, and like it's not all genders, and you identify with gender fluid, still fucking valid. Alright? These identities are not set in stone. Alright. Then we have demigender, which I already mentioned a little bit. Demigender is a gender identity that involves feeling a partial but not a full connection to a particular gender identity or just the concept of gender. Demigender people often identify as non-binary. Demigender is not necessarily a partial connection to gender like male or female and a partial connection to a gender. Instead, it's more commonly referred to as a partial connection to a third gender that possibly can't be described by the term agender, or is just not the absence of a gender. Demigender people may feel that partial connection is a gender, but it connected necessarily be described. But it cannot necessarily be described. So that's what demigender is. You have demigirls, demiboys, and demiandrogen as examples listed here. I mean, I saw someone say they were like 75% male, 25% non-binary. I think that's an example of demiboy, but I don't really know people who identify with demigender. So I can't really say anything about it. I'm just listing the facts that are listed here. Alright? Then lastly, we have the Galaxian alignments. I don't think everyone agrees with these. I mean, there's controversy about all of the genders are listed in this video, I think. I mean, all of them are valid. Legit. No matter what you identify as, you're fucking valid. Can't say that enough. Everyone's valid, no matter what. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Right? But the Galactican alignment were created for non-binary to describe the genders they identify with or align with without using binary terms such as masculine or female aligned. It is important to know that not all non-binary people use the Galactican alignment. We don't really know much about it either. I think we looked at it once and then went to look at it more just in case. But yeah, they never did. But here we have multiple genders listed. The first is Solarian, which is masculine male aligned. I thought it was created so you could describe your gender without using those terms. Yet they're using those terms to describe the gender. I don't really get the logic in that. Alright. I'm not here to judge changes. Is it just a term that doesn't use those things to describe it? I don't know. Next we have Lunarian, which is feminine female aligned. Then we have Stellarian, which is neutrally aligned. Nebularian, which is neutral and feminine, either fluctuating or simultaneously, also called stellunarian. And we have Novarian, which is neutral and masculine, either fluctuating or simultaneously, also called solstellarian. Next, we have Eclipsean, which is feminine and masculine, either fluctuating or simultaneously, also called solunarian. Then we also have Dilexian, which is feminine, masculine, and neutral, either fluctuating or simultaneously, also called solstellunarian. Then we have Folidarian, which is non-aligned rejection of alignments, also called Singularian. The word Singularian just makes me think of singlets, which are people who have one personality and no others, but it's two complete different things. Then we have Celestian, which is partially connected to being Stellarian or demi-Stellarian. Then we have Daumian, which is partly connected to being Solarian or demi-Solarian. And last we have Duskian, which is partly connected to being Lunarian or demi-Lunarian. Any of these terms can be used as a gender identity in its own or as a modifier. For example, Solarian can be used by a masculine binary person, but Solarian demi-boy could also be used. Well, alright. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I didn't know. Well, I knew about like the other genders, but I didn't know much about the Galactican alignments. I mean, they sound a lot like the other genders, but still, if you rather use one of those genders, why not, right? Don't know how many people don't know the statistics about how many people are which gender. I know everyone always thinks you're either like male or female, which is fucking wrong, alright? There are probably more non-binary people or people who are not solely male, solely female, than there are people who are solely male, solely female. I'm just guessing. I mean, there are more identities, like in numbers. There are more identities than just the two binary ones. Also, which something that is sort of related but not fully, if you are a cis male or a trans man, or if you're a cis man or a trans man, you can wear dresses and feminine stuff. Like, clothes don't have a gender. Makeup doesn't have a gender. Just express yourself like you are, like you want, right? Like, gender identity is not gender expression. Same goes for like cis women and trans women. If you want to dress masculine and express yourself in a masculine way, go for it. Doesn't make you any less woman or any less male if you wear dresses. Like, no. Some people think it does, but no, fuck that. I mean, I dress masculine because otherwise I would have dysphoria. But not everyone has that. And if you don't have that, you're still valid as a trans person. And also as a cis person, valid. You're just always valid no matter what your gender expression is or gender. I mean, maybe don't say stuff like autism gender. But, I mean, I don't know what you feel. I can't judge that. hopefully you now know more about some of these gender identities, and maybe it helps you figure out your gender identity. I know for a fact it helps people in our system with their gender, um, like Destiny and Loki. Uh, yeah. Also, you can use any pronouns you want, no matter your gender. Pronouns are not linked to a specific gender. You can be a woman and use they, them. You can be a woman and use he, him, or any variant of that. Like, any gender can use any pronouns. Doesn't really matter. I know there are more pronouns than they, them, and he, him, and she, her. Like neon pronouns or something like that. Those are valid to you. You know, it really doesn't matter. You identify the way you are, and that's valid. No one can say otherwise, because they don't know what's in your head. They don't know what you feel. Like, I've heard someone claim that you can scientifically prove that someone's a trans man or a trans woman, and you can't scientifically prove that someone's non-binary or the existence of non-binary people, but that's just bullcrap. Yeah, there was probably done like one study which found that, but it's fucking bollocks, alright? Your gender identity is just like your sexuality. You can't prove that someone's gay or that someone's asexual or someone's straight or whatever other sexualities exist, right? You can't prove that. So why do we need to prove gender identities? Why do we need to prove that non-binary exists? Like, why? You can't. All right. We're actually in college, and then like becoming a scientist. You can't prove it. All right. Just trust me. You can't prove someone's gender. Yeah, you can like diagnose someone with dysphoria, but that's not linked to your gender identity. Like, for fuck's sake. Everyone's violent no matter what. Yeah. I hope I didn't piss Loki off by making this video. Just need to be done. And if they don't like the way I did it, they can also always redo it. But I mean, I used the facts like they would. So, well, facts. I used the definition of all the genders. Why is there fucking hair in the eye? Yeah, I used the definition, so they shouldn't be mad about that. Maybe about the little rants, but they can always cut them out. Yeah. Besides, I'm not making us stay up until like 3 a.m. like a few days ago. But then they stayed up until 4 a.m. last night, so as long as I don't do that, or like anyone else, if someone takes over after me before I go to bed, as long as we don't stay up until 4 a.m., we're fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from us about dyspraxia, OSCD 1B, and I guess LGBT related stuff, like the LGBTQ plus community stuff, subscribe. If you have a question about anything, ask it in the comments below. Our Twitter is linked in the description. And we'll see you in the next video on Wednesday. Well, it's probably be low-key. They film the most videos. But yeah, at some point we should make an introduction video. Like, for all the others. I know we already did Loki already did an introduction video, but we should make an introduction video for all the others. Yeah. But anyway, hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.